Hello and welcome. In this video, we will meet 5 different college athletes that I had the privilege to interview. Today, we're going to talk about some of their struggles, some of their achievements, and their whole college career, and what it takes to be a college athlete. After meeting with each athlete, I discovered how hard and overwhelming it can truly be to be a college athlete, but they all have one thing in common, and that's their motivation and determination to be the best at the game. Even after facing the struggles and hardships it takes to be a college student and a college athlete, these college athletes were able to balance everything out perfectly. If you've ever wondered how they're able to do it, you're about to find out. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the video.
I play soccer at St. Mary's University. I am a transfer student, so originally I played at Texas Lutheran University, and it wasn't until my sophomore year when I decided to hit the transfer portal, and then I came here.
I'm from right outside of San Antonio, Texas, a little area called Cibolo. Right now, I'm playing at Cisco College. It's right like outside of Abilene a little bit in West Texas. It's a D1 JUCO. I got recruited over here to be a pitcher.
I play tennis, and it's a very individual sport, I would say. I mostly grew up playing tennis like most of my life. College is kind of like a stepping stone to going pro. So I got recruited at first at UIW, actually, and then I transferred to Monmouth.
I play football and I play at Ottawa University. It's in Kansas. I'd say it's roughly around like 50 minutes away from Kansas City.
I'm from Australia. I was like born and raised there, and then I moved to America when I was 17. I did 2 years of high school here, and then I got recruited to UTSA, where I went for 3 years, and then I transferred to St. Mary's last year. Now I'm going into my second year.
I've been playing soccer since I was 3 years old. At first, it was kind of like my dad, because I know my parents grew up playing like in high school, and so they kind of put me in like a little soccer team, but it wasn't until like the age of like 10, I would say, when I actually wanted to start playing like more seriously, and they ended up putting me like in a little soccer club.
As a little baby, my father would just go outside and like toss with me. We had like a little tee and a net. I'd go out and hit into the tee, and he'd hit me ground balls and stuff like that. And honestly, just doing it every day, and being a little kid, and it was something I enjoyed, like having fun. It was just something I ended up falling in love with at a very young age.
It was actually my dad. He played volleyball throughout his college career. And he actually twisted his ankle and had a career-ending injury. So he was like, my kids are not playing any team sports. It's gonna be individual. So he pushed me into tennis. I mean, at first I was kind of like, this is a very lonely sport, but then I started liking it because it taught me more to life than just the sport itself.
I was first introduced when I was around 7 to 8 years old. It was a Pee Wee football. I played that till I was around 12 years old. And then I took a break. I didn't play again until my sophomore year of high school, which was at St. Anthony's. Played through junior year. Senior year, I actually transferred through Holy Cross for a semester, came back to SCA, and then I ended up committing to Ottawa University to play for the next 3 years.
Well, my dad always used to play. He didn't have many opportunities growing up, but he still liked to hoop. So, he played in all those leagues when I was growing up. So I think that's kind of what put me on. And I also have 3 older brothers that played, and they aren't great, but, they loved it still. So then naturally I just kind of started playing it. And I also used to do a lot of high jump. And it got to a point in high school where I had to kind of like choose between high jump and basketball. And I just chose basketball because I love it more, and I think there's more opportunities in it. And yeah, so that kind of has directed my life. Basketball really has. It's always been a part of it.
During season, like in the fall, it's like very time consuming. Like, I don't know, I have like not a lot of time for a lot of things in the sense of like, apart from like school soccer. So every day we have practice early in the mornings from like 7 in the morning to 9 in the morning. And then I have classes right afterwards. And then usually it's like around 3 p.m. when I'm done with school. And then after that, I have like the rest of like the day free. And those days, I usually just have to like study or just do homework and stuff.
As a junior college athlete, we don't really have like a specific amount of time we get to work out or practice. I would say JUCO, you're developing more. You're doing a lot of stuff on your own, like mobility for us pitchers or like extra swings for a hitter. It's all pretty much on your own. Like you have to have the mindset to be able to want to get better and to go make yourself better. We have classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays here. So those days we'll practice in the afternoon. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the days we don't have classes, we'll practice early in the morning. We'll have lift like after breakfast or after lunch or something. I'm not gonna lie, we do get a lot of free time around here, and just whatever you do with that free time, that's on you.
Usually I kind of wake up in the morning. I go to lift. Either I have lift or I just lift by myself. And then I go to class, maybe one or two classes depending on the day. And then in the evening, like maybe 3:34, I go to practice, play some, and then I have a class at 6, on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So I go to those classes right after. And then after that, I'm so tired, I just go to bed like pretty early, honestly.
For the schedule, when it starts, we come up here in August. We usually start around August 1st. It's called fall camp, and we usually go for around 3 to 4 weeks, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a week after. And we'll start from probably 8 a.m. till probably 3 o'clock, so even after that. So it starts with the meetings, lifting, meetings again. Then we'll probably do walkthroughs, then practice, and then meetings again. And then with Ottawa University, we do some team bonding. So we'll go into groups. They'll section us off. We'll just have like college football tournaments. That's what we did this last August. We also did charades or karaoke. That was another big thing. The guys love that. So yeah, it was pretty jam packed. During in season, I'd say it's more chilled out. So I'd have my classes. So starting like 9 o'clock in the morning, have that for 50 minutes. Second class at 10:50. 11 o'clock's usually when I would eat. Or sometimes it'd vary. Like Mondays, Wednesdays, I'd lift at 11. Fridays, I would have lift at 1. And then meetings are usually followed after that, probably like around 3. And then we start practice around 4 o'clock. And then 4 to 6 is usually when we end.
You know, it's a pretty loaded day, especially being a student athlete. I got to do my schoolwork and then balance that with basketball and, you know, fit some like social life in there and all these different things. But, you know, we'll lift in the morning and then we'll have practice straight after, which is really intense. And then we go eat, and then I'll go treatment, and then I'll have another workout, and then I have like an hour or two of like free time where I can like do some homework or whatever, and then I have class. So I don't really have a whole lot of time to myself, but you know, busy life is a good life.
I will say sometimes it really does, especially recently, but it was because of a concussion and nose injury that I had. Due to the concussion, I couldn't go to school for about a week, I would say. And so I started becoming really behind in some of my classes. And I find it kind of hard sometimes to balance time management when we have like games and practices. And then on top of that, like tests and homeworks to do. It can be a little hard sometimes because I do have to balance everything out, but I feel like time management is really like good for like a good skill to have. And I feel like it's something that I've learned to do since I became like a student athlete, especially in college, because now I'm taking like harder classes and I have to like keep track of all the things that I need to do.
It could be overwhelming because you could be going through something where you're like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or like I need help fixing what I need to fix. And sometimes you're not given that other like set of eyes or that other mouth to tell you like what you're doing, what you could be doing better. I mean, I just honestly deal with it and let it beat me up, and to the point where I have to get up and go.
Definitely like putting a lot of pressure on myself to get good grades, still keep doing good at the sport. And there's a lot of, I mean, I do a lot of mindfulness, a lot of those kind of stuff, like yoga, meditating to kind of, take it all in and just kind of take it one step at a time. But so it does balance itself out, but it definitely has quite a huge impact on your mental health as well. I mean, you talk to your peers in class and they tell you how they're gonna go home and take a nap, and you're like, I have to go back and go to practice. Like, so it's like kind of just comparing yourself with those kind of people, it kind of gets a little bit overwhelming, and you start putting yourself in their shoes, and it definitely affects your mental health.
I'd say I got used to it now, but first 2 years were definitely hard on me. I had to adjust to the different time schedules, definitely being disciplined with homework and school and to keep it in with family and football and make sure I'm getting those hours in on film. But now I'd say it's easier, just dedicating more so to my school because I'm transferring out of Ottawa University. So
I think basketball and like all the adversity I've faced has made me a lot stronger, 100%, and I'm way better off for it. So I would just say, there's a lot of challenges, everything that you could think of, but it's how you react in certain situations is what counts for me, which is what I've learned. And as I've gotten older and played more and gotten more experience, I've learned to control myself a little better when I'm facing with those situations.
I would say honestly just like taking care of like myself, not just mentally, but like physically. Being an athlete, like it takes a toll on your body, especially when you're always practicing, always having games. And I feel like sometimes I struggle to like go to the trainers, go take ice baths, go to like do like the little boots that we have, like the compression boots that we have. And, like I make like soccer my whole persona. So whenever I don't perform, like it really brings me down as a person, and it's kind of hard to like bring myself back up, especially knowing that like I'm wanting to like do good for the team and like coaches and for like myself.
I was just throwing a regular bullpen, and one throw, it just my what happened was my UCL right here, this ligament ended up snapping. So I had to get surgery to repair that. And at first it was really hard to deal with because this specific injury, it does have like a pretty long timeline for recovery. So the surgery I got is a 12-month recovery. I've never been out for that long. I've dealt with injuries, adversity, whatever, but not something like this serious. Honestly, like that feeling of having to adjust to something new, like that's not something I'm scared of, like I'm down to kind of move and work things around to get myself by.
There are days and I'm like, I just need some time away from school, from tennis, like just to relax. Definitely find that hard, but there's always room, off days that are always used. So, yeah.
I think adjusting to being away was kind of hard, just mainly because I'm a big family person. Like just being in touch with my family, being with them, just going to Walmart, HEB, just doing the random things is it's a daily lifestyle that I've been so used to, and having to be pushed away from your family was hard. But not only that, just your friends and family. I feel like losing those friendships or relationships that you may have had, it was just hard to think like, well, I'm having to adjust to a different lifestyle now. But I try my best to just look at it as opportunity to grow and meet new people. And I just took it day by day. I think it was definitely hard.
Yeah, I think just like the doubt that creeps in, especially during the season, like if you have a bad game or you guys lose, people tend to doubt themselves. I know that I have in the past. So I think it's just the mental challenge of overcoming that is probably my biggest hardship in basketball. Because, if we're winning and all that, then it's great. But when you face a lot of adversity, that's when, you start questioning stuff. So I think just doing the right thing in that and just like sticking to it, keeping your routine is really important, and it's helped me get through it a lot.
Knowing that like my end goal is to honestly like graduate and get a job in the end, and knowing that like I'm very passionate about the sport. Coming to college and playing college soccer, it's also kind of like a job. You being an athlete is kind of like working to keep your scholarship money. Like it's paying for your school. So it's kind of like a motivator, like, okay, I have to do good in soccer, I have to do in school in order to get to my end goal, which is to ultimately graduate, knowing that like also I'm a first generational student and my parents like never went to college. So I think that's a big motivator for me.
Just that feeling of I feel like I can actually go out there, compete and do better and actually get somewhere to accomplish my dreams and get to where I want to go. That would be my main source of motivation right now. There is a chance that I could go somewhere bigger um than where I was at last year, or where I'm at this year.
When I played Delaware at this school, which was also a conference match, and the girl I was playing line two, the girl was really good and she was ranked, I think, 64 in the country on the ITA rankings. And I almost won that match. I mean, I tied sets with her and I lost 8-10 in the third set. It was pretty close, so I was pretty proud of myself for that. But yeah, I would say those were my best achievements in athletics so far.
I would say just having experience. I think a lot of people who dream of going to the next level don't really get that chance. And I was blessed to have the opportunity to even experience it, whether it was 3 years, 4 years, or, 1 year. It was something to experience at a college level, and to have the knowledge from the coaches and players and a different culture was also a main aspect, because I met some friends who were just not from the same state as mine, and I understand their lifestyles, and it was really cool to see and kind of bond over some things that we had together, which was really cool because it made me feel like Texas wasn't the only place I lived in. Like I also felt like I lived in Cali or I lived in Kansas because of the friendships that I had.
I'd just say it's the love for the game. I don't know how far it's going to take me. I don't know what like my next chapter is after college. So I feel like my only motivation is just to have fun. And I've always played basketball, like I said, and I think the team aspect of basketball is probably the most important for me. And I just love being a part of the team. I love being around the guys. So that's one thing that I'm definitely going to miss about it. So I'd say that's my motivation, just the love for the game and creating these relationships with these people on my team.
I definitely wouldn't change anything, especially being now at Syracuse University. I think transferring is like one of the best things that ever happened to me. Like meeting the people here, like my teammates, the coaches, like definitely a very like good environment to be around. Like I said, like the people here, like the diversity, like I feel like I've learned and I've grown as a person here, not just like on the field, but like off the field as well.
No, I definitely changed some stuff or one main thing. I being honest with myself, I didn't find like the true love for the game at the college level, at least, until I was probably like starting my junior year of high school. And that's kind of when I started locking in and getting stuff done. I just kind of wish I would have had that flip switch like earlier. But if there was one thing I could go back and change, it'd definitely be my work ethic earlier on in like high school or like even in middle school, putting in that extra time, the little extra like hours and blood, sweat, tears, whatever, pain to get myself better so that way it could work out in the end.
Halfway through college, I kind of felt like this is something I want to do. Like, I want to try and make it pro, like that kind of a thing. I just wish I figured that out a little bit earlier on, so that I would start working towards it a little bit more earlier. But I mean, I would still be an athlete, honestly. I wouldn't change anything about that. So, yeah.
I'd say I'd probably change my effort. I feel like I got discouraged a lot of times, feeling like as if I wasn't gonna be enough, so I shouldn't just put enough effort in. But knowing me and myself, I feel like I could have been better. But at the same time, I wasn't given as much opportunity, so it was hard to just give myself that motivation. But definitely just putting more effort into the time, watching film, sticking in with the coaches after practice, asking them questions, and doing more than what the usual person would do.
I don't think I would change anything. I think if I went back in time and I could relive it, you know, then maybe I would do a few things like a little different. But the fact that it's already happened, like I wouldn't say I regret anything.
Okay.
Because it kind of like laid the groundwork for who I am today. And I'm pretty happy with who I am, so I wouldn't change anything. But of course, I mean, there's some things that you wish you could always go back and change. But to say I regret them, I wouldn't say that.